All right. Good morning. We are live right here on Facebook or on YouTube. Actually, we're on YouTube now. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll give everybody a second to hop in, and then we will get rocking and rolling with this week's brand new Brunansky's vlog right here on YouTube. So give everybody a second. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. I'm Jeremy Brunansky. This is Brunansky's vlog live right here on YouTube. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you guys also had a great last week since we last saw here on YouTube. I know this morning I've got my coffee here, and in honor of the new Han Solo trailer, I'll be drinking it out of my Star Wars mug. So I hope you guys are all set with your Monday and you've got whatever beverages and refreshments you need to survive the Monday morning madness. So this week we've got a lot to talk about, but before we do that, let me go ahead and remind everybody, if you haven't yet, go ahead and click subscribe on this channel. Also hit the bell. That way, once new content drops, you guys will be notified and you won't miss anything. Also, be sure to give me a thumbs up if you like any portion of this show, because that helps people who like movie-related shows find this movie-related show right here on YouTube. Also, if at any time during the show you have a thought about any of the topics we're covering, as far as movie news, reviews, and more go ahead and leave those in the comments section below and get that conversation started. We've got a lot to talk about this week, so let's jump right into it. We've got movie news coming up. We got a couple stories. We have Certified Rad, which is going to look at an inspiring story about one individual helping kids who are terminally ill. Also, we have two movie reviews where we're going to look at A Quiet Place and Chappaquiddick, so stay tuned for those. And then we're also going to take a look at what's arriving in theaters, what's arriving on DVD and Blu-ray for your home theater. And then we're also going to take a look right now at the weekend box office. So let's go ahead and move now into the news segment, and we'll go ahead and take a look at what you guys were watching over the weekend at your local theater. All right, so there we go. We got the change happening right there. So let's go ahead now and take a look at the weekend box office here. Now, this is coming to us from Box Office Mojo. If you would like to follow along, the link is in the description box below, so you should be able to click on that and check that out. But coming in at number 5, because we go from number 5 to number 1, and that way we can stay on top of who's seeing what and what's really hitting with an audience over the weekend. So coming in here at number 5, we have the faith-based film I Can Only Imagine, and that made $8,356,800. Number 4, Black Panther, coming in with $8,430,000. Number 3, big jump between the bottom 2 and the top 3, big jump. So again, Black Panther, 8 million plus. I Can Only Imagine, 8 million plus. And then coming in at number 3 is Blockers with $21,439,000. And then number 2, Ready Player One, $25,060,000. And coming in at number 1, A Quiet Place, being anything but quiet with that dominating presence at the box office. Now, I had an opportunity, as you heard at the top of the show, to see A Quiet Place, so you're going to get my reviews for that here in a little bit. Spoiler alert, I really enjoyed it. So I'm not surprised to see it doing so well to make the top 5. I am a little bit surprised that it made number 1. I thought Ready Player One was going to be able to cruise the number 1 spot till at least maybe next week, as you'll hear, because Rampage is coming out. But I definitely did not see a smaller budget horror film bumping out, bumping out Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One. So big surprise there. Big shout out to John Krasinski and team for what they were able to deliver on with A Quiet Place. Really good stuff. Again, Ready Player One. Blockers does surprise me because the trailers did not sell me on this film at all. The trailers made me believe that this was just going to be cheap jokes that, you know, with a poorly written script that just didn't really work that well. Early buzz online was really positive about it. Everybody else coming out after they saw it has been fairly positive about it. So maybe this is a case of the trailers just did not serve justice to the film at all, which is a possibility, right? That happens. Sometimes the trailers come out, they look great. Then you go see the movie and you're like, where was what I saw in the trailers? How did we go from an awesome trailer to a bad film? Same thing can be said the other way, right? So how do we go from bad trailers to an awesome film? That may be the case here. We don't know. So I have to wait and see what some more folks are saying about that film. But again, it's getting really high praise. So if you've seen it and you enjoyed it, go ahead and throw your comments in the comment section below and let everybody know what you thought about Blockers, because I have not seen it yet. Black Panther still crushing it. I Can Only Imagine. I think I Can Only Imagine is probably the biggest surprise just on how well it still continues to do. It's a smaller faith-based film. I wasn't surprised it did so well opening weekend because you have one of the biggest songs within that faith-based kind of demographic, right? So people want to see kind of the story behind the songs, or people enjoy seeing stories behind the art that's created, like what inspired someone to make that thing. I think that is what the success of this film is really relying on a lot. So pretty awesome for everybody involved with that. And kudos on a job well done for that film. Again, we have in the top 10 now, we've got Isle of Dogs. Happy that's in the top 10. Pacific Rim Uprising, Sherlock Gnomes, Chappaquiddick, and Tyler Perry's Acrimony. So there's a lot out there right now. If you enjoy cinema, which I'm assuming you do if you're watching this show, so get out to your local theater and check out some of these films. But again, Black Panther, I don't think we can really dismiss this film because it is doing incredibly well. Also, we just had the first news story for today is going to be revolving around Black Panther and the success that it's seen. So in the description box below, you'll be able to find all these news articles. This one's coming to us from the Hollywood Reporter, and it is Black Panther sales past the Titanic to become #3 all-time domestic. So amazing job for Marvel, right? I assumed in advance that Black Panther was going to do great. I did not in my wildest dreams imagine that it was going to do this great. So props to Marvel, props to everybody involved with Black Panther. What an incredible achievement for you guys over there at Marvel Studios. Now we have Avengers Infinity War getting ready to come out. Look, everybody's still excited about Black Panther, and I think that excitement is going to carry over into Avengers Infinity War. But as I've said before on this show, I don't believe that we're going to see a dramatic push or increase in sales because of Black Panther. I think the excitement was already there to begin with for Avengers Infinity War. Now, if Black Panther wouldn't have done so well, I still think, again, on the same side of that token, I still feel like Avengers Infinity War would still crush at the box office, right? I didn't see Black Panther really being a make or break situation for Avengers Infinity War. That being said, with the success that Black Panther is having, I do believe that Avengers Infinity War will see a slight increase above what was expected. So I feel like projections will be increasing a lot because of this film. So I'll have to stay tuned to see what projections come out for as we get closer to release. But again, I think Avengers Infinity War was going to do fine either way. But kudos on a job well done to everybody here at Marvel Studios for what they did with Black Panther. Now, to see it come to #3 domestic. Now, the top 3 right now, according to this article, we have Star Wars The Force Awakens and Avatar and Black Panther. So if you go to Disney World, you can see all 3 of these films have an attraction at Disney World. So obviously, Avatar is not a Disney movie, but you have Avatar Land coming to Disney World. So Disney is really, really enjoying these top 3 being the top 3 at the box office domestically. So job well done, again, to everybody at Marvel Studios and Disney. All right, let's go ahead and move into the next story now. The next story is going to be with coming to us from Variety. And this is about Tom Hanks's new film. He is going to be doing a World War II pick, and it is called Grudge. And this is set for 2019, and he's going to be working with Sony Pictures on this one. And in the article, it says here, just going to read a quick little quip from the article here. And it says that this is a film set in the early days of World War II, a convoy of 37 Allied ships led by the character that Tom Hanks is going to be playing, Captain Ernest Cross, crosses the treacherous North Atlantic while being pursued by wolf packs of Nazi U-boats. So it sounds like this could have a lot of tension, right? So you have the Navy guys, right? They're trying to get over to help the Allies in Europe, and you've got the Nazis trying to sweep in behind them and take them out before they get there. So it feels like this could be almost like a race film, plus all of the tension and drama that comes into it as far as World War II is concerned. And with Tom Hanks, I think we're doing pretty good. Now, if we can get Mark Rylance involved in this film as well, I'll be even more on board. But maybe Mark Rylance has seen his fair share of films as far as the World War II and all that era is concerned. But we don't know. Mark Rylance was in Bridge of Spies, so it's possible we may see him come back here. So I really am digging this story. It's a history pick. You know me, guys. I like my history movies. So if they can deliver on this, I think it could be really something special. Hopefully you guys are excited about it. It's Tom Hanks. If Tom Hanks is in a movie, you know it's probably going to be pretty good. He's kind of earned that respect from us as an actor. So go ahead and sound off below in the comments with your thoughts. All right, coming up next is a story coming to us from Deadline, and this is about the star Iko Uwais. He is going to be joining the new film Stuber, and this stars Kumail Nanjiani, and it also is going to star Dave Bautista, and it's about a detective who takes over an Uber for a night. So it sounds like this is going to have a lot of action comedy elements to it. I think that's great. And with Iko Uwais coming in, he did the fight choreography and everything for the Raid and Raid Redemption. So we can anticipate that this film is going to have some pretty sweet action sequences in it, mixed with comedy. So I think that's pretty awesome news. Now, as far as everything else goes, does that mean Kumail is going to be doing karate, or is that just going to be Dave Bautista fighting everybody else? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But from the sounds of it, it looks like they're really setting something up that could be really nice for us because we like action comedy movies, assuming that you do. Now, what does this mean as far as like the plot and everything else goes? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. But what we can glean from this is that they are setting it up to have really good comedy, an action star who's believable, and then also a nice addition to the action star with some believable choreography as well. So again, it feels like they're setting up all of the blocks in the right places to make this a smash action comedy for us once it's released in theaters. So go ahead and sound off below with your thoughts about all of the news stories that we just covered today. We're going to go ahead and get ready to, as I just close these windows out here, so we can all focus on what's important, which is going to be movie reviews. So as we get ready to segue now into movie reviews, again, for everybody who's brand new to the show, we used to have a section called Honorable Mentions, but if you look below, you'll see the ticker tape is running, and that is all the honorable mentions down there. So you can just read along with us, either in the articles that we cover on the show or in the ticker tape, because that will be giving you honorable mentions of things that popped off that were of note. So I've got my coffee here. We're getting ready to move now into movie reviews. Again, this week I was able to get out to the theaters to see 2 films. Those films were Chappaquiddick as well as A Quiet Place with John Krasinski. So we're going to go ahead and move now into those movie reviews. So stay tuned for that. And then we'll be right back to take a look at what's arriving in theaters this week, what's arriving on DVD and Blu-ray for your home theater this week, and Certified Rad. So let's go ahead and move into those movie reviews right now. The threat is real, and you're only safe as long as you're quiet. Monsters are lurking around and waiting just outside, and any noise above a whisper will invite them in to feed on your flesh. This is a story about one man, his family, and how they try to survive day to day. So, does A Quiet Place deliver on the monster movie madness hinted at in the trailers, or will the silence put us to sleep? Let's talk about it in this review. John Krasinski is back in the director's chair for a 3rd time, where he looks at stories that are about people, actual individuals. There are monsters in this movie, that's very true. However, the monsters are brilliantly used to highlight the individual struggle and, as the story progresses, the true nature of each character in the film, allowing us to get to know who these people are as the tension keeps rising. I was not expecting a film that really explores the family dynamic, the love of parents, regrets that kids can keep when they think that they've done something wrong, only to find out the true spirit and love of a father and mother. There's so much great quality relationship material in this film. It completely won me over. I was hooked into this film from the very beginning. So yes, again, there are monsters, but the monsters are used so well to showcase the individuals, the people in this film, so we care about them and we understand what's at risk if they deviate from what has been keeping them safe for so long. This story primarily takes place on a farm in a small town. Now, we do get to see the small town at the very beginning of the film, so we understand kind of what the area looks like. There's also a bit with the waterfall where we see them fishing and trying to hunt for food to stay alive. So it does a nice job kind of painting out the picture of what this world is that they inhabit. Also, what is the threat that's always looming in the forest and outside of the farm. This film does a few things pretty well. One of those things is setting up at the very beginning of the movie, what are the stakes? What are the consequences? If a sound is made, what will happen? Where are these monsters coming from? What do these monsters look like? What's at risk? At the very beginning of the film, we find that out. And unfortunately, it is in the trailers. So if you've seen the trailers for this film, what happens at the beginning of the film won't surprise you. It does kind of pull you out, but that's okay because there's so much more still to come in the movie that is absolutely not in the trailers. And even though, again, the trailers did show a little bit of the beginning, I'm still completely sucked into this movie right from the very beginning. Another thing the film does really well is pacing. This plot moves along and does not waste any time. The story has a runtime of about 90 minutes, and it honestly does not even feel like an hour and a half long. Big shout out to John Krasinski as a director for his ability in this film to really create tension on the big screen, let it resolve, create greater tension, let it resolve. And just doing this consistently with the pacing so that it never really feels like we're kind of start and stop. It's very even and literally edge of the seat the entire time. The pacing of this film, again, just spectacular, and all of the threats in this film, all of those moments, and then the release, and then those moments, they all felt appropriate for the story of the world that we're living in. Imagine living in a world where alien monsters are hunting you, and if you make a sound, they pounce. Now imagine that you have a wife who is pregnant and about to give birth, and the noise levels that can come from that. Also imagine that you have a daughter who's deaf, so she can't hear anything, including the threats when they happen. All of the moments felt appropriate, all of the moments felt believable in a world where alien monsters have landed and are hunting. However, if you blink, if you get up to run to the bathroom, or if you get up to run and get a refill of whatever you're drinking during the movie, maybe refill your popcorn, you may miss one key element that details how the threat came to be on the planet. So I am going to recommend that you do not get up and leave at all during this film because, again, it's only 90 minutes and it moves very quick. So you want to be in the theater for the entire time. However, I do understand people do need to leave. So without spoiling anything, I will say that in the background, there is a newspaper article detailing a meteor crash, and that is how these alien monsters came to the planet. But again, if you blink, you'll miss it. So you have been warned. And finally, again, without giving any spoilers away, by the end of the film, we find out that his daughter's deafness wasn't just something that they added to the story to create a different level of tension. It actually plays a very important role going through the film. Going back to Krasinski's style of movies that deal with individuals, we find out by the end of the film, no spoilers, that a father's love for his daughter does help save the day. A Quiet Place is playing at your local movie theater right now, and I am definitely recommending a big screen viewing of this film. This is an enjoyable, edge of your seat monster movie that looks at the life of one family and how each of them as individuals are trying to survive. Also, pay close attention to the lighting and the sound in this movie because they are very, very important elements to the way this story is told. The sound design was paramount to the success of this film, considering that you can't make a noise louder than a whisper. So get ready for these incredibly silent moments that really help drive the tension, and also the lighting on how they use the color red to really help elevate the tension as well. Again, just overall, the story, the characters, the way the film looks, and the sound design all were done so very well. And because of that, it's getting both high fives from this guy. A Quiet Place is playing at your local movie theater right now. Check it out. It's been almost 50 years since Senator Ted Kennedy and Mary Jo Kopechne crashed into Pucha Pond. The events that transpired after the crash took the life of Mary Jo and permanently destroyed the chances of Senator Kennedy ever becoming President of the United States of America. So, does Chappaquiddick paint an accurate portrayal of these real-life events, or will this film bore history classes for years to come? Let's talk about it in this review. The acting in this film is adequate at best. If I am supposed to believe that Ted Kennedy, played by Jason Clarke, was struggling to find his voice and his place in his family, I definitely needed more from his performance. I felt like all of the actors were either told to pull back on some of their emotionality, or they weren't encouraged to really reach for it and go for that strong emotional performance. And unfortunately, I can't really say that any of the performances really stand out. I do believe, though, if Ed Helms, who plays Joe Gargan, is looking to expand his repertoire and really move forward into more dramatic roles, this film was a very good first step for him. It felt like he really wanted to deliver a strong and dynamic emotional performance, but he either wasn't A, advised to do so by the director, or B, is still working on those chops, and then later on down the road, as he continues this type of delivery and this type of performance, we'll actually see more of that from him, and later on down the road, we'll be able to look back at this and go, this is where he got his start, and now look how great he's doing. But again, that's just for dramatic performances. His comedic chops are absolutely top-notch. Also, Jim Gaffigan is in this film, but he's also not really in this film. He kind of is in the background most of the time. Now, at the beginning of the film, he does have some dialogue, and we understand why he's important, why he's playing the role he's playing, what does this character do for the story. But then after the beginning of the film, he kind of is just in the background. He's more scenery. He doesn't really have a lot of dialogue or emotionality. He's just kind of there, filling out some of the space in the background. But again, if Jim Gaffigan is looking to move into dramatic roles, just like Ed Helms, I think this is a good first step for him to get him some exposure doing something more serious, something more dramatic where the stakes are definitely higher. Moving into the movie itself, unfortunately, I don't believe that this film truly knows what it wants to be. As I'm watching the story unfold on the big screen, at times it felt very different in tone, very different in delivery. At moments, it felt like a historical biopic. Other times, a courtroom legal drama. Other times, a dramatic period piece, and a bit of a political drama. I couldn't really put my finger on where the pulse of this film really wanted to hit, and that was a problem for me as I watched the story unfold. But by the end of the film, we do discover that this entire film is strictly about Ted Kennedy and how he overcomes this tragedy in his career as a United States Senator. But again, even though the story is consistently about Senator Kennedy, that's really all that stays consistent. Again, going back to the storytelling, I couldn't really identify which single form, or even a combination of forms, that they wanted to go with to tell us about Senator Kennedy's life in this one particular instance. Is it a legal drama meets historical biopic? Is it a political drama / political thriller? Even after seeing it, I can't really say with 100% certainty what it really is, what it wants to be, and that's kind of a bummer. But if you don't mind lots of different storytelling options thrown at you for almost 2 hours, and you do enjoy history movies or movies about history, this might be right up your alley. Chappaquiddick is playing at your local movie theater right now. And again, if you're the type of person who likes movies about actual historical events, like me, this might be the film for you. However, because I couldn't really place my finger on where the pulse of the story was supposed to be, I can't recommend that you guys spend your hard-earned dollars or your time on a big screen viewing. But because of the importance of the actual story, this is a film that I do think you should check out once it's available on Redbox, DVD and Blu-ray, or your preferred video streaming service. Actually, I think this movie might be more enjoyable from the comfort of your home because it won't cost as much with a movie ticket and concessions. You can enjoy all of the story from the comfort of your couch, your futon, your love seat, your beach blanket, your yoga mat, your beanbag chair, whatever the case may be, but definitely worth your time learning about or revisiting this historical moment. But unfortunately, since I can't put my finger on where the pulse of this film was really supposed to hit outside of Senator Kennedy's life during this tragedy, it's getting 0 high fives from this guy. Chappaquiddick is playing at your local movie theater right now. All right, and there you have it. 2 reviews coming at you. We are closing in on the final segment here of Brunansky's vlog. Hope you guys have an opportunity to get out to the theaters and check out both of those films. But as you heard, if you had to pick one over the other, I'm definitely going to recommend A Quiet Place over Chappaquiddick. But again, if you're a history buff, you may want to check out Chappaquiddick once it's available on DVD and Blu-ray or your preferred streaming service. So that being said, let's take a look at what other options you guys have this weekend at your local theaters. So coming out this weekend, we've got Rampage, we've got Truth or Dare, we have Sergeant Stubby and American Hero, and we have Beirut. So out of all of these films, it's basically I'm batting 500 here with this weekend. 2 of the films I am looking forward to, 2 of the films I could honestly care less about. So that's not to, you know, hopefully not anyway, hopefully not going to like dissuade you from seeing these films, but I just personally don't have any interest in 2 of these films. The 2 of the films that I am looking forward to are Rampage and Beirut. Both of these films obviously very different, right? One is based on a true story and one is based on a video game franchise that I grew up with playing that I loved. So Rampage with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, this guy can do no wrong in my eyes as far as action films are concerned. He has really found his niche and he is really hitting home runs with these films. So hopefully he can continue that, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Rampage can deliver. Am I expecting an incredible story with lots of heart and emotion and incredible dialogue and thought-provoking, you know, exchanges between characters? Absolutely not. Am I expecting monsters destroying buildings and lots of gunfire and tanks and cannons? Absolutely I am. So I'm very excited to see Rampage. And then again, Beirut, obviously a fan of historical films or films based on historical events. So I'm looking forward to seeing kind of what happened during this time period with all of the people that are involved on both sides of the line, right? And then Truth or Dare, honestly, I could care less. If you're excited, stay excited, right? I don't want my my apathy towards this film to dissuade you, as I said, but when I saw the trailer for it the first time, I was like, this could be interesting. And then they like the characters do that weird like Jack Nicholson is the Joker or Jim Carrey kind of smile, and I was like, what is going on in this film? And then it's like, okay, the game gets to decide whether or not you are doing Truth or Dare, and I was like, now you've lost me. I was like, this just doesn't, not at all. And then Sergeant Stubby and American Hero, I don't even know what this movie is. I pulled it up and I was like, oh, what, is this a real movie? And I guess it's an animated film. I haven't seen a trailer for it. I don't know anything about it. If you do, go ahead and throw some comments below. But let's go ahead and move now into what's arriving on DVD and Blu-ray for your home theater this week. So we've got a lot of options coming out. If you are the type who prefers to stay at home and be comfy cozy on the couch, this is the week for you, because we've got The Greatest Showman, Phantom Thread, Molly's Game, All the Money in the World, Proud Mary, My Friend Dahmer, and Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay. So, wow. What a week, right? So this is a lot of great films. Most of these films I have seen and reviewed. So if you go to the movie review playlist right here on Brunansky's vlog, you'll be able to find my reviews for The Greatest Showman, Phantom Thread, Molly's Game, All the Money in the World, and then the last 3, Proud Mary, My Friend Dahmer, and Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay, I did not see and review. So I may now have an opportunity to check those out and maybe do a DVD Blu-ray review for you guys on this channel. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But out of the films I have seen, Phantom Thread was my favorite out of all of those films, out of those 4. So I would say Phantom Thread, then Molly's Game, then The Greatest Showman, then All the Money in the World, if you're looking for how I would rank those 4 films that I've seen that are coming out this week, and what I think you guys should see them in what order. So again, that's Phantom Thread, Molly's Game, Greatest Showman, and All the Money in the World. Now, I know Greatest Showman is getting a lot of love. It has been getting a lot of love. Everybody really enjoys this. For me, I'm just an old curmudgeon, right, when it comes to musicals. I like my musicals to sound like musicals. When I'm listening to a musical, I want that Stephen Sondheim sound, to where when I crank the windows down and crank the volume up, like people should like drive past me and look in my car like I'm a weirdo. Like, what are you listening to? Like, that to me is what musicals should sound like. The Greatest Showman does not do that. The Greatest Showman sounds like you just turn on the radio and all the songs are playing on the radio. That was my big issue with it. I was like, this doesn't sound like a musical. It sounds like a pop concert. So still a fun movie, still very entertaining. But again, old curmudgeon when it comes to musicals and the sound and the style of sound that I think should be present in a musical. But hey, that's just me. This movie made a ton of money, so you guys clearly liked it. So now may be the opportunity for you guys to pick this up on DVD and Blu-ray. So there you go. Let's go ahead and move now into the final segment of the show. My personal favorite segment, because you guys never know what's going to drop, but I can guarantee that whatever drops will most definitely be certified rad. So this week for certified rad, and again, if you want the article, it is going to be in the show notes below. It's coming to us from people.com. And this is actually a very touching story. It's about a woman who moved to Hollywood. She wanted to pursue a career in filmmaking. After she got there, she realized that it really wasn't the scene that she thought it was. She realized that she didn't want to pursue and chase the brass ring. What she wanted to do was she actually wanted to help kids. So what she did was, as again, according to the article, so go ahead and click on that. Her name is Tamika Lamison, and she moved out to Hollywood when she was 28. So she's been doing this for a while because she's now 48. So she's been doing this for 20 years. So incredible job for you for keeping up and helping people for 20 years. But what she did is she was inspired by a Make-A-Wish Foundation. So she decided she's going to put her own kind of special flair and style to this. And so what she does is she goes around and helps kids who are terminally ill make their own movies, because she has found, which I completely agree with, that when you are creative and when you are creating and you're using that side of your brain and you're filling up your heart with passion, and then you're taking that passion and you're pushing it forward into something that you want to create that you are, again, passionate about, like it can help you deal with struggles and trials and tribulations in life, whether it's being a terminally ill child or whether it's depression or whatever. She found that she can really help her community and these terminally ill kids by helping them fulfill their dreams of telling their stories, whatever those stories may be. So when you take time out of your life, 20 years, to help these kids who are terminally ill and are kind of just riding that wave as long as they can, kind of fulfill and find a new passion and new zest and zeal for life in their final however long they have, you can guarantee that setting yourself aside and really helping kids is most definitely certified rad. So that concludes this week's brand new episode of Brunansky's vlog right here on YouTube. All of the sound is working this week. What a wonderful thing that is. You may notice that this week, the final bit here looks a little different than the final bit last week. Still trying to figure out this camera and why I can't get a clean feed out of the HDMI port. Really weird, super confusing, but once I figure it out, don't worry, we'll be back to that format where it looks a little different and it's not just me sitting in front of this background, but me sitting in front of two backgrounds. How exciting is that? Two different backgrounds. My goodness. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's brand new episode of Brunansky's vlog right here on YouTube. If you did, again, please do give me that thumbs up, because the thumbs up helps people who like movie-related shows find this movie-related show right here on YouTube. Also, don't forget to click the subscribe button and hit the bell so you get the notifications when new content drops right here on this channel. I'm Jeremy Brunansky. Thank you guys so much again for joining me for another week. This is season 3, episode 2. We're doing this for almost a year now. Very exciting. So thank you so much for joining me here live on YouTube for season 3, episode 2. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Click subscribe, give me the thumbs up, leave your comments in the comment section below. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts about today's topics and movie reviews. Well, again, everybody, I'm Jeremy Brunansky. This is Brunansky's vlog on YouTube. We'll see you next Monday, 10 a.m. PST, with a brand new episode right here on YouTube. But until then, have a great week. Hope you guys are able to get out to the theater to see a bunch of good movies. And don't forget to check out the new trailers for Avengers Infinity War, as well as Solo, a Star Wars story. So check those out as well, because those are both available online for you to watch right now. All right, everybody. Again, I'm Jeremy Brunansky. This is Brunansky's vlog. Have a great week, and we will see you next Monday right here at 10 a.m. PST on YouTube. Take care. Bye-bye.